Hi guys, so glad and grateful to have you here with me. You are very welcome. Today we are learning how to resize quilt blocks. I said we because after Vlogmas I kind of realized I needed a refresh on the subject too. And if I'm honest, knowing how to resize a quilt block is probably one of the main things a quilter should know how to do. You know, if it's your pattern, you will want to be able to make it in any size. If it's a pattern you've bought or saw online on the So Easy by Sandy YouTube channel maybe, then you will want to be able to make it, you know, in the size you need or for the quilt you had in mind. And let's face it, most quilt blocks you see on YouTube are made really big, so people will be able to see all the steps properly. I know I do that too. Let's put it this way, knowing how to resize quilt blocks just opens up a whole new set of possibilities for you. Now, there is some math involved though, and I get why most people stay away from this, but it's not like really scary math or anything like that. So I am determined to try my very best to make it as easy as possible for you to do it. Okay, so now that we've got that settled, let's do this. My first, most important tip for you guys is do all the math without the seam allowance, okay? Let's say you have a 4-inch quilt block that has half an inch seam allowance that you want to turn into 6. Just remove the half an inch seam allowance from the first block, only consider the 4 inches, make all the calculations, and then add the half inch once you're done. Second tip, if you're just starting out, stick with the easy ones and grow from there. Let me get our lovely Christmas sample quilt right here. Okay, the one we made for our Vlogmas quilt along. Do you remember? So, okay, let's say we have, here we go. Let's say we have our 9-patch quilt block, you know, like this one right here, and let's think of each square as a unit, okay? So that way we have 3 by 3 units, right? 9 in total. You will want to pick a size that is a multiple of 3, like 9, 12, 15, 18, and so on. If it's a 4, let me see, like this one right here. If it's a 4 unit, you know, like this one right here, 4 rows, 4 columns, a 4-line grid like this one, where you can divide the elements into 4 rows like so, then you will want the size to be multiples of 4, like 8, 12, 16, etc. If it's 5, then we pick 10 or 15 or 20 or 25 and so on. Doing this alone will save you so much time. So let's go back to our 9-patch example. So 3 units, right? 3 here, 3 here. So let's say this block is 6 inches. It actually is. And we need a 12. So this one is 6 inches and we need a 12-inch quilt block. So if this is a 6-inch square and we have 3 units, then we know each unit is 2 inches. So if we want a 12-inch square, we need to double that. So we are going to need 4 inches. So we are going to need 4-inch units, right? Then we add the seam allowance, so we are talking about 4.5-inch units. And that's how you know. Now, if you want the math of it, here we go. We want 12-inch total squares, that's divided by 3, so 1, 2, 3. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. And then we add the seam allowance. And that is assuming, of course, that you're using a 1/4 of an inch foot. So that's 4.5. Okay, let's do this again with a 4-unit grid. Let's say this is an 8-inch quilt block. It is actually. And we want to turn it into a 36-inch quilt block. You know, whole baby quilt in just one square. That would actually look cute now that I think about it. I'll have to try that one. So essentially we've divided our quilt block into 4 even rows and 4 even columns. So the math here is we are dividing 36 by 4. And that's how we'll know that each unit will now have to be 9 inches. And if you add the seam allowance, we are making it 9.5. Or, you know, if you prefer it like this. So what would happen if you wanted this 8-inch square to be turned into a 15-inch square? So not a multiple of 4, right? So 8 inches to 15 inches. Well, the math is exactly the same. It's the cutting that's going to be much more complicated. Because, you know, if you divide 15 by 4 is 3.75 inches. And adding the seam allowance makes it 4.15, or 4.25. In all honesty, I know it is just a different line in your ruler. It is not that complicated. But if you're just starting out, things are probably going to be a little bit overwhelming. Keeping your math and your measurements simple just help. So now that we've figured out all our quilt block math, what's next? Tip number 3, which is to always make a test block to make sure your math is correct. The worst thing that could happen, and trust me, been there and done that, is to have the wrong math. That leads to the wrong quilt block sizes. Particularly if it's a sample quilt, like the one we made in December, where all the squares are different, and that just makes your job a whole lot more difficult, and mistakes are that more easier to make. But at the same time, I will also say that it's nothing that adding a border or something like that won't solve. I know I've done it with you guys. Let me see, where was it? Oh, here we go. Remember this one? This one right here? Oh boy, I was so tired at this point when I realized, as I was recording the video, that the math was off. I just said, nope, not gonna stress, not gonna redo it, I'm just going to go with it. And it turned out lovely, with this little frame around it. Works fine, just an added patchwork detail that makes it extra cute. And that's it, you guys. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any extra questions that I can help you with. And thank you for doing this with me, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye!